About everybody in detail, and we're very, very happy with the kind of stuff we presented. Very cool. I hope you continue to think about Bitcoin at least as much as we do, which is all the fucking time.
Yeah, so I mean, what we were looking at in the beginning of this hackathon is what can you feasibly do using the blockchain today that is solving a problem that conventional technology cannot address. So based on that theme, we evaluated the ideas. And the idea here is about feasibility, as in you can deliver the solution today. That we're not waiting for other bits to be added in order to be able to deliver the solution. So that's the feasibility of it being actual. And the feasibility of delivering that technology rather than using conventional technology, because that's the only way that you can deliver that solution. So based on that criteria, we looked at the ideas, and we came to the conclusion that the open source idea was the best. And the rationale, so the rationale with that was, yes, I said, why not use PayPal, etc. You returned, you can't do microtransactions at the level that we want to do it at. And then we looked at, you explained the problem. The problem is, how do you monetize open source? Yet open source is a vital bit of technology that requires financing. And the adverse side of things is that digital currency is trying to monetize open source by pre-selling currencies, which is a securities issue. But you are proposing something that doesn't entail any regulatory problems for the founders. So we thought that was a very, very neat solution, and also because Bitcoin itself has an issue of being funded, and involving people in that process. So it was very relevant. And of course, using Bitcoins to disperse those payments. So it's very relevant in terms of the use of the blockchain and its deliverable today. So on that basis, we thought it was very, very valuable. And we would like to present you with a prize, which is from Trezor. Okay, so you need to have a hardware wallet, okay? Plus 1 Bitcoin, which if you give me the address, I will send it to you now.
Cool.
There you go. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So,
you need to figure out, the Bitcoin is easy to split. It's split in 100 million pieces and distribute them equally among you. The Trezor is a little bit more difficult to split. Yeah, fight over it or something. I want to say, okay, I think this is in no particular order, just because I'm standing right here. I want to throw my hat something to Doug, because I think I very much liked your project. This is a Black Arrow wallet. It's Trezor compatible, so keep your mind safe. Yeah, so it's an open source firmware and hardware made in Shenzhen, just from around the world. And I think that kind of stuff really shows the potential of the blockchain in terms of accountability, in terms of honoring your promises. These kind of options, they are simply a promise that a company issues to its employees. And I think not only can companies become a lot more attractive, or these options can become a lot more attractive if you can really look at them, you can really have them, they're really yours. But also, the startup world can sometimes be, we're full of sharks. And I think protecting employees on that level and protecting their rights is very important, because as you correctly said, nobody's going to go and sue that company that recently just IPO'd for a few billion, because they're not honoring the spreadsheet, or it turns out somebody went in at night and changed the spreadsheet in their favor. So I think doing that, you should probably show us a little bit of, do you want to do that on something like Counterparty on top of Bitcoin? What kind of sidechain are you using? What are you waiting for to turn that into reality? And actually, I think you could do today. You could create such shares today, and I think you should do it. And I think you should turn that into a company that does better than Zenefits. Okay, yeah, but yeah, all the best.
The technology is feasible. You can do it today, and that's what you do. So thanks. And so, I mean, we were discussing this, and Joseph, you know, you are courageous, my friend. Extremely courageous, because there is a lot of vaporware out there, as we all know. A lot of people talking left, right, center, smart contracts this, smart contracts that, raising significant capital for their enterprises based on vaporware. But yet, Joseph comes along and is like, hey, I built a contract which in effect is the predecessor to the smart contract, and I use it today, and I put my money where my mouth is. So, you know, hats off, Joseph, for that. But it is the predecessor to the smart contract, and the connection to the blockchain is still conceptual. So I would have loved to hand that Trezor wallet to you, Joseph, for your level of courage, but maybe next year when you can connect it to the blockchain. And then the last point was you guys. You have a fantastic idea. You're the Facebook of money exchange, okay? But not the Bitcoin Facebook of money exchange. I think that was just slightly slotted in. But it's all good, because if we were doing a fintech hackathon, you would be up on top of the list. So hats off to both of you, your teams. You did a fantastic job. And hats off to everyone really for participating in today. I am bowled over, because London we did last year was the first blockchain hackathon, and the outcome was good. The quality of the ideas were good. But here, I mean, that was like 50 people. You were half the numbers, but the quality of the ideas are just earth-shattering almost. So, and like the level of sophistication of how you're delivering those ideas. You know, you're thinking about the regulatory parameters. You know, is this legal or not? I mean, some of the guys I've worked with previously when we've done hackathons, they're like, yeah, we issue bonds. Okay, so you're using the technology, makes sense, but what about going to prison? Have you thought about living in Guantanamo? You know, but there's this level of awareness, holistic awareness in the room, which is quite unique. So maybe Hong Kong has a lot more, possibly on that side, the ability to look more holistically at the idea. So that's very interesting insight. Okay, that's me. Eddie, Leo.
So I brought the most valuable presents of the day, which are you know, future memorabilia. So you have the very famous Ethereum T-shirt. So we'll give that. So we'll give that as a to you guys and to Joseph as well. And this one is to whoever fits it. On my side, I usually look at projects which are a little bit more advanced, a little bit more mature, because we're looking at projects we want to invest in. My advice for you guys is to, you know, you're tackling quite large markets. I mean, open source is a huge market today. It's a lot of companies, a lot of developers. The payday loan, the kind of you know, loan for SMEs is a huge market, especially because banks are not really helping that much in that field. The options one as well it's a very large market, and at the same time currency exchange. What I didn't really see. And maybe that's because it's a hackathon, it's not a proper, let's say, business plan pitch kind of demonstration or presentation. I didn't really see the market data where you had some market data. I would like to see a little bit more reality in terms of commercial application and reality of how you get to the market. On the P2P, which was a bit more mature one in terms of numbers, you mentioned only like 12,000 Hong Kong dollars. for starting initial startup. I mean, I think it's probably a little bit low on the low side. So maybe you want to see, maybe you forgot a few expenses there. It's possible, but at least you had a little bit of thought process into that. But yes, congratulations to everyone. I mean, you were tackling very large issues, very interesting issues, and well done.
So that brings us to a close. Do you guys have any comments, questions, things that we could do to make this better? Because bear in mind, you're assisting, this is part of history, guys. This is the first blockchain hackathon in Hong Kong. You realize that? Yeah? So, you know, you guys have actually made history today with us. So what can we do next time in Hong Kong to make it better? We'll be really glad to hear your comments, you know, Leo, myself, organisers. We want to learn more about how we can make a better event for you guys. So feel free to, you know, chat about it now or later, whatever you may say. Do you have any questions now? Anything you want to add?
Sort of scheduled on a long weekend, so a lot of people are away.
It's a vacation on Monday.
Oh, okay, so it's a day off on Monday. Okay, we can tell I'm a farmer. And I don't have any days off. Yeah, okay, noted. Alrighty, well, look, really thanks a lot for coming along, guys, and it was a real pleasure working with you all, and see you at the next Hackcoin event.
Yeah,
Thank you.
See you all soon. Yeah. Maybe everyone wants to come to the front and take a group picture with everybody.